first off all, let me say thank you for helping me out with this assignment. I just want to open up and introduce you, or have you introduce yourself. Who better to do that than you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Diana. I am a registered nurse. I currently am a case manager for a hospice company.
Okay.
Um, what else do you want to know?
That's a good start. I have a few questions I prepared.
Okay.
Question number one. One of the most fascinating attributes of the people I know is how their mind works. Can you kind of talk to me about how your mind works, how you think through information based on your upbringing and your culture?
Ooh. I recently had a very pivotal change. So I grew up thinking very emotionally, as most women do.
She said that. I didn't say that.
And so a lot of my actions or what I did was based around how something made me feel.
Okay.
I recently turned 35, and I don't know what it is, but I started thinking more logically and putting my emotion to the side or taking my emotion out of it before I make a decision. And I've noticed a vast change in how I react to the world and how the world reacts to me.
Based on your facial expression, seems like it's been a positive change.
I'm struggling through some things, but I'm sure it'll work out.
Okay.
It's
Awesome.
definitely a learning curve.
See, this next question may tie into that a little bit, depending on how you decide to answer the question. Growing up, what do you remember the most about your economic background?
I grew up in a single parent household with one other sibling. My dad wasn't present, and so I'm trying to remember what my mom did back then. She's been in car insurance for a very long time. So I know that I remember a lot of struggle. I remember living in the projects. I remember even living in a mission house at one point in my life.
Oh, wow.
For a long time, actually, around from probably when right before my sister was born to about 3, so probably about 4 years. I remember living in a mission house and having to go to church as like our form of contribution, I guess.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. These interviews are cool because you always learn something that you didn't necessarily know. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about environment. And I'm trying to make this brief because we only have 4 or 5 minutes. There's so many more questions I can ask you, but environment tends to shape us. How was your experience as a woman in the military?
Yeah. Going into it, it was very positive. It was definitely what I wanted. It's like my skeleton.
Okay.
It shaped who I am as a woman, but it also gave me the tough skin in both good and bad ways. I don't think the military is very nice to women,
Interesting. Okay.
much less women of color.
Wow. Okay.
That's a whole other rabbit hole.
And we're going to go there. We are going to go there. Actually, that's the next question. I didn't make this up. So now I understand that you're Italian and African American. Can you speak to how your culture has shaped you? What makes up your character, your personality? What parts did you keep? What parts did you walk away from?
So my father grew up Muslim. My mother grew up Protestant.
Okay.
So religion in our household was always like a war field. It was very touchy for the time that my dad was home. And when he did come home, I remember at Christmas, he was cleaning his gun in the living room, and he told us that if some
Wow.
fat white man came down the chimney, he was going to shoot him. So Christmas was traumatic. And so that gave me the ability to pick and choose what I wanted to do. And to this day, we don't celebrate holidays on the holiday. We can celebrate Christmas December 1st because we want to. We do Thanksgiving anytime in November. We never do traditional food. I can't tell you the last time I had turkey. We usually would do tamales or lasagna. we make it what we wanted to make it because we don't have a whole lot of good memories tied to what it's supposed to be. So we just make it up as we go.
Wow, that's so much I can unpack right there. Tell you what, the best thing I could do with the time we have left is kind of have you just share with us some of the things that have impacted you. Some of the examples that come to mind is like your learning style, communication style. How did the military impact that? And maybe speak to a little bit to your transition from the military into healthcare.
Ooh, military definitely gave me some great attributes that helped me in nursing. I'm toot my own horn here. I have exquisite time management skills down to the last 30 seconds of a task. And I work significantly well under pressure thanks to the military. There are a lot of things that the military taught me that I still keep in reserve, but as a nurse, I don't apply. Military, we're up at dark 30 and we get more done before 9 a.m. before most people do in an entire day. I know that I still have that skill, but you will never catch me awake before 9 a.m. these days. So the things that the military taught me, I don't think I apply a lot of them to nursing because I kind of wanted to rebrand myself in a different way as a civilian because coming into the civilian world was very difficult.
I like that the word rebrand stood out to me. Can you talk a little bit about how you've had to reinvent yourself at different times in your life?
Absolutely. Military taught me to be very stern, I was always defensive because it is a man-dominant field no matter what you go into in the military. I was in HR.
Okay.
I was still surrounded by men. So much so that I think the ratio is like 1 to 10.
Wow.
Again, another rabbit hole. But so that taught me how to carry myself around men, how to conduct myself around men. It taught me a very unique way of how to attach to women.
Okay.
What was the question? In my brain, I'm going down a rabbit hole of the military and I'm trying to get out of that. No.
I'm enjoying it. Okay, so let's transition then. So how has nursing impacted you in a similar way? Or has it?
Nursing allowed me to really express my empathy. I've always been a very empathetic person, not knowing what to do with that or being empathetic to the wrong people. And there is a such thing as being empathetic to the wrong people. People who are toxic, people who deliberately do things who don't want to help themselves. That's very toxic to someone who takes on the pain of someone. If you're self-inflicting, I don't need to take that on. So as a hospice nurse, it allows me to express my empathy in a very healthy, positive way. That's also very rewarding for me.